I don't want to. It'll hurt. All right. So, I'm going to Barcelona because my son Alex, who Cutco sales rep for a couple of years, really loved it. He's been studying abroad, and I think it's been a great experience for him. But I'm going there because I want to make sure he gets on the plane to come home. Because I keep getting these snaps, which about 10 o'clock p.m. my time, which is on the West Coast, which is 6 a.m., 7 a.m. his time. And what do you call those? When they superimpose a place? What's that called again? A filter. Geofilter. Thank you. Geofilter at these clubs called Opium and Wrecked. Body bag and all this kind of stuff. And they're coming at 6, 7 a.m. Barcelona time. So I don't know what the grades are going to be like, but we're going to make sure he gets on that plane. That was picking up.
Yeah. Just like
all right. Yeah. Show's going on. Here we are. All right.
really
So where were we? I don't trust my face, but I'm bringing him up. Yeah, bring it. Hey, let me begin by thanking everybody for their commitment and sacrifice and all the things that you've been doing over the last several months to get ready for this summer. It's no easy thing to get ready to run an office, open an office, be an assistant manager for an office, all the training. It requires, this is not a small deal. And the fact that this room is full of people that have been essentially getting ready for the better part of the last 8 months for this kickoff to the summer is a real testament to people here that are going to do great things this summer. And I can assure you that there are some amazing things ahead, right around the corner. The company is 70 years old this year. I've been around for 40 of those 70. Yeah, June of 1979, I was a rep. And I will tell you that I have not been as fired up about the business ever as much as I am in 2019. That's how I feel about what we have going. And I'm just psyched that you're all a part of it. As you know, you're going to have an enormous impact on a whole bunch of lives. Many of you have been doing it for a long time, but those opening, you're about to impact a lot of lives right away. It's for real, and it's played out all the time. We just had an alumni event out in California where we invited people that have been vector stalwarts over the years, and we invited, there was an overflow crowd. There were about 100 people that were there. And these are people that were very successful in their vector career, going back as far as 30, 35, 40 years ago. Actually, a guy named Roman Malik was there who started selling in 1952. Oh. Yeah, he's still selling, by the way. Yes. But all these alumni there, and of course, with it being the West Coast, there were a lot of tech type people there. And I was pulled aside by this one individual named David White. Some of you may recognize that name, but he's a partner with Khosla Ventures, and they invest in big technology firms. And he's, I think he's 46 years old now, but I knew him as a fresh out of high school sales rep up in the Seattle area. I was at the time the region manager of the Western region. I had Lloyd's job out there. And he was, had just graduated. He was on his way to Harvard. And this was his, his summer job before going off to Harvard. And then he came back for a second summer and he was an assistant manager. Anyway, he pulled me aside. Oh, I should mention this. He is, for the last 10 years, been on the Forbes magazine Midas list, M-I-D-A-S, the Midas list, which ranks the top 100 tech investors in North America. He's been on it every year for the past 10 years. He began as a, he was with Netscape and AOL, I think back in the 90s. Anyway, now he's a venture capitalist. So he pulled me aside with a corner. He said, hey, I want to share something with you. He said, this experience that I had back in the early 90s, I want to say it was 91, 92. He said, my Harvard education was great. I got a ton out of it. But what I learned in those first 2 summers that I spent in Vector was more important to my career and whom I have become than Harvard. That's how he feels about it. He said, I will say that to anybody. I do say it to anybody. And that was pretty impressive, right? And here's what he said. I asked him, well, tell me, what is it that you took with you that applies to today? And he said that he learned the irreplaceable role that salesmanship has in bringing ideas to life. And keep in mind, this is a venture capitalist, right? But he's talking about that he's seen a lot of good ideas over the years. And some of them don't get any traction at all because the person that's behind it, or the people that are behind it, aren't salesmen. They can't communicate the value well. And in determining who he's going to invest with, yes, the idea has to be great, but he also looks who is behind the idea and can they deliver on communication of the importance or the value or the excitement of the product or the idea. Irreplaceable role that salesman should play in bringing great ideas to life. So that's what you're recruiting to this summer. That possibility, that's what you're offering. And it's on that foundation that we are all building this company. And I hope that we don't forget that it's more than just the selling knives and making money and putting numbers on the board. It's the value that we are providing. So I get on Facebook every once in a while. I try to keep up a little bit. And I came across this thing that I'm guessing by now most of you have seen. I always am shy about saying, well, I discovered something, because people say, half the room says, oh, I saw that on Facebook, right? Like that elephant that paints with his tail in Thailand. We've all seen that. So that kind of thing. Anyway, so maybe you have.
The other tail.
But this is a short video. I'm going to play maybe a minute and a half of this.
Oh, yeah.
And this, what you're about to see here is a video of a mama bear protecting her cub. Oh. Right? Has anybody seen this?
Yeah.
All right. You have it? So this is just to set the table. Let's play. Brian, I don't even know how to do this. You just want to press play, go ahead. And is there sound? You can put sound. Because the Canadian commentary is really great.
Look at she beautiful. She's one on one. Oh, I see one come. She's beautiful. You went up a tree. Fight. Oh my gosh, that's the whole thing. Whole thing. She's going after her. They're going to fight. In the tree. Yeah, they're about ready to. No. Nobody touches it. Oh, fight.
All right, Brian, I'm going to let you turn the sound down. You can continue to let it play. This goes on for a while. The bear going up and down, protecting. It's tough. I'll let you, you can kind of zone out on that and watch a little bit. But I'm going to provide a little voiceover here. So Nick was speaking earlier. He was talking, I think you were quoting Ruth, perhaps, talking about this notion of non-negotiables, right? I believe, Nick, you were talking about that. In the world of this bear, in the world of any mama bear, right, there are certain non-negotiables, right? The obvious one is you are not going to get anywhere near my baby. Nowhere close, not within smelling distance, or I will do anything. I will chase your butt up 100 feet. I don't care if you're a black bear. I will chase you to the top of a 100-foot flimsy tree, ripping every branch off along the way. Non-negotiable, get to the death, right? I'm going to protect my cub. What I'm going to talk to you about today is, in the time we have, is about non-negotiables in your Petco business, okay? Drew, I guess, has his list. I'm going to give a list of probably parallels in some way. We had a division manager meeting. Has he already done it the second time? Or she already done it the second time? Third time. All right, you cut the video now. Eventually, the black bear runs with it. We had a division manager meeting a couple of weeks ago out in California, where we asked the question, what is sort of a non-negotiable future vector? Like, what are some things that we would never, ever change about this company? And people, there are 3 or 4 people in this room that were a part of that, and you'll be, in some ways, it's cool to know, I think that there were 91 different things that people just loved about what the company did. We took these sticky notes and we put them up there. 91 things that people say, I love this about the business. But if I were to distill them, which I did, what it really came down to was a few things. What the division manager said, we can never have a vector without these things. First, I would call signature experiences. So whether it's Paris or it's driving a beautiful new BMW, or maybe having a chance to earn a Rolex, let's say, or it doesn't have to be stuff. It could just be coming to an event like this, which you often don't get to do, right? Signature experiences, that's a must, right? Secondly, they said recognition. Whether it's just something as simple as newsletters or conversations, right? Where people are being recognized for what they do. Awards, those kind of recognition, big part of it. And then the third broad category they said was unlimited opportunity. No cap on my income. Let me be paid a lot if I'm worth a lot. Signature experiences, recognition, unlimited opportunity. Those, in their minds, these are people that have been with the business, people like Stacey Campbell, right? Been with us for 20, 25, 30 years. They said those things are non-negotiable. That's the stuff that matters. Even at the corporate level, you think about back at Olean, the formation of the company. There are also sort of mama bear non-negotiables. Those a couple of you may remember that I talked about this a little bit at your year-end bank, right? So there are things that are always going to be so. It kind of what makes this company what it is. So, for example, we're talking about a premium product, right? You can't imagine a Vector candy or a Cutco without it being something that we don't have to hide from in any way, shape, or form. We can be proud of. Imagine that with every customer who's ever sold premium product, you know, American made, forever guaranteed, all of that stuff, premium product. Second thing, non-negotiable, is that we make the product, right? That seems in some ways, maybe that might be overlooked, but that is a big deal. It's a huge deal. We're not sharing the margin with any other company, right? That enables us to pay big commissions. It enables us to control pricing. We can set the price at a healthy point, so we can pay out nicely. We can also lower the price to be competitive, right? If we needed to. We control it because we manufacture it. Non-negotiable. We're not going to suddenly ask some company in China to start making our product. Third is the channel, right? The direct selling channel. I mean, we could be, you know, in Macy's or something like that. But the direct selling channel, and in particular, the fact that we work with largely young college-age, recent high school graduates, the channel works so well for a number of reasons. First of all, the first two things, because we can pay out those healthy commissions, right? I think college students, young people like that. We also have the benefit, I don't think we talk about this a lot, we have this visually appealing demonstration. It's very, very cool, right? It's a perfect dovetail fit for who we are training, right? Customers like it, it's fun, it's exciting, you've got this, that, corkscrew, all that. Our reps like it, right? So that's cool too. The other thing about our channel is, and we all appreciate this, I'm sure, we create the market. We don't have to wait for people to come to us. We get to drive activity. We get to create the market, get people out on demos. We don't have to wait. And then the last thing I'll add, I'm not sure I mentioned this even at your year-end banquet, is that we're privately held. That's another thing that's not going to change, ever, non-negotiable. Why is that a big deal? Well, we are not subject to running the company driven by quarterly profit reports, right? Where shareholders, you know, want better return for the buck, and so, oh, you guys don't need to do that car thing. We want our stock price to go up, right? Oh, that's silly that you guys go to Paris. Go to Club Med, Mexico, right? That's the difference between public and private. We understand what makes this business go. No, okay, all non-negotiables. And they all drive our core value of people first. All those things, feeding people first. Not just what I just mentioned with the company, but what the DVMs mentioned as well, all the cool stuff that we did. So it leads to a really important question for each of you. Because you're all either running or you're a part of offices this summer. And it's simply this. On a daily basis, every day, what are the non-negotiables in running a great office? What matters? What's the stuff that you just can't give up? Now, I'm going to talk about this from 35,000 feet. You don't need me to talk about, how, what to say in a phone script, for example, all the stuff that you've been working hard on. This is, I would compare this to, if you're playing a sport like basketball, you have to do all these drills and you have to get in shape. But when you're on the floor, you're in an actual game, there's just some certain things that you want to think about playing basketball, right? Playing aggressive defense, taking the ball to the hoop, sharing the ball with your teammates. That's about it, right? You just let all your hard work take over, and it happens naturally. So I want to talk about
run your office from basically from 35,000 feet. And you know these things, but I think it's going to be helpful to talk about them because what are the things that really every day that you show up are going to matter? Some of them have come up already today. Here's the first one. Duh, right? Every day I go to work, if I'm a manager, this is so key. Brian talked about this. I think Brian put it into a couple categories. He said, I think Brian said, how many are set for interviews, how many are scheduled for training? Brian, I think I got that, but the concept is the same, right? How many people did we recruit today? Let's begin with something that we all know. Recruiting is noble. What we do is amazing. I talked about that a few minutes ago. So, what's the DNA of a great recruiter that will go in daily and be able to execute? I want to give you a simple thought on that. You're going to be successful if you realize that every applicant, every trainee has a running loop of 3 basic questions. Can I do this? Can I do this? Meaning, can I go into people's homes? Does that mean? Can I show friends, relatives? Does that mean? Can I make appointments? Am I capable? Right? Can I set my own schedule? That's one question. Secondly, they ask, can I make money at this? Right? Can I make money at this? What this woman is telling me here over the course of this interview. And then thirdly, do I like this person? Right here. Do I like or respect this person? That's basically the stuff. And fundamentally, the DNA of a great recruiter, it's your job to make sure that those 3 specific questions are answered in the affirmative. That's it. And what's important to understand is that you have to be able to answer all 3 yes. 2 out of 3 doesn't work, right? Can you imagine if somebody said, I really like this guy, and I do believe, well, you can make a lot of money at this thing, but I can't see myself doing this. It's not me. Conversely, you could see somebody saying, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm cut out for this. I'm cut out for sales. This woman here, she knows what she's doing. I like her. She's got some charisma. But I don't really think you can make very much money. Right? That wouldn't work either. And you can all imagine the third scenario, right? Oh, yeah, you've been coming at this, and I'd be great at it, but this guy's a schmuck. Right? There's no way I'm going to report to this person. You gotta satisfy all 3. Now, I'm not going to sit here and give you specific instruction on how to do all that, to be all that. I think it's important, though, to realize that that is a running loop. And as you're dealing with people in a group interview, one-on-one with people, in a simple conversation that might be over lunch somewhere, in effect, all those boxes you're attempting to check. You know, because if you check them all, people like being around you, they're going to stick, they're going to come to the office. If they believe that there's money in it, they'll be impressive, right? If they can see themselves doing it, they're going to be there. Those are the ones that are on the loop. All right. So how many people did we accept today? And is it in line with my goals? And if it's not, what's really great is if you come up short, and everybody will on a day or 2 or 3, right? There's so many things that you can do, right? They've been brought up here today, right? You can strengthen the calling of your top slice PRs. It can be Facebook messages. You can get on campus. You certainly can cast out a wider net. Damien was talking about that today. It's such a huge field. a wider net for recruiting. Here's a cool story. This is just going a few weeks back, but the chess champion of New York City for the 8 to 13-year-olds, the little kids who are really great at chess, by the way. You know, these are world-class type people. The winner was an 8-year-old who was living in a homeless shelter, who was an immigrant from, I believe, Nigeria, who, with his family, large family, was living in a homeless shelter, who learned how to play chess in the New York public parks 1 year before. And yet, he beat out all the other 8 to 13-year-olds to win this tournament. And the point I'm making here is that talent is universal, but opportunity is not, right? Talent's universal, but opportunity is not. Talent can't survive in a vacuum. It can't thrive anyway. It needs to be introduced to an opportunity. So, finding talent is a numbers game. And there are all kinds of people that you at least expect that can be an enormous part of your future. Remember that. Sometimes it's people that you least expect. So opening the recruiting net wide, remembering that recruiting is noble. All right, so it's how many people do you accept today? Here's the second one. Here's the stuff. Tell me something. If we're just counting sales, what else really matters than this? Other than the sales themselves. Obviously, orders are the ultimate definition, right, of success. But in the end, you want to know about demos, right? Demos drive the business. This is really the lowest common denominator for results. And every day I want to know this. Show me the team with the most demos done for the summer. Show me the team with the most demos done for the day. And I will show you the team. I will bet a fair amount of money, take my chances that will be the team that sells the most that day. And it matters not the size of your team. You're a team of 10 people, that you got 50 demos the next day, and you're competing against a team with 50 people, and they have the same 50, you're going to sell about the same. This is a demo-driven business. Remember that. Demos. So demo management, and especially demo creation, that's the stuff of champions. That's the stuff, right? And what I love, and I hope y'all take this in at that level, what I love is that this is a needle that can be moved at any moment with a phone call, a conversation in the challenge, a text. You can move the most important barometer of success in our business. The number of demos in an office can be moved in an instant if you're paying attention. Think of all the leverage points that you have to impact that number, right? Obviously, you've got solid initial training, that goes without saying, and advanced training with a purpose, but your PDI, not just PDI to have a conversation, but PDI to create extra demos, more demos. That's when you get paid. That's what drives the business. Extra demos created as a result. That's when you know you're doing your job, right? If you get effective with your phone jams, field trainings, service calls, my gosh. And we also have number two, customer reps. You want to drive this demo activity with people every single day. Every day. Idle hands are the devil's workshop, right? We all know that. Watching your kid. This is my career. I've been doing it for 40 years.
watching what happens to your kids, your Cutco kids, when they're idle, is a bummer. You can see how important it is that there's somebody well-meaning and supportive, but in their badgering is the word I was going to use, but it would have been helpful. It would have been better for them to have somebody on them all the time. They had great experiences, by the way. They sold, but it's important when you're on the other side of it and you watch what happens when they are having trouble getting it going. Make sure you follow through. So how many demos are set through tomorrow? I always want to know that number because that's going to tell me how much I'm going to sell in the next 24 to 48 hours. And if it's not in line with my goals, then I'm going to do something about it. You are going to breathe life into people. You're going to breathe life into people if you chase this. You know, it's like that. I saw on the Washington Post this story about this older couple. I think they're both divorced, but they went out on their first date. They were walking the beach. I think they're in the 40s or 50s, and the guy passes out, collapses, and their first kiss was this woman giving him CPR on their first date. They ended up getting married. What happens? Really, it's an amazing story. But his life was saved. Her life was changed because she breathed life into him when he needed it, right? That's more or less what you're doing with these reps. You don't know it. I watch it with my kids, but they're kind of lying on the beach, waiting for somebody to breathe into their mouth. That's you. That's what it's like. So how many did we recruit today? How many demos are scheduled for tomorrow? Those two things are objective, right? Those are numbers. How many did we recruit today? 27. How many demos do we have? 83, right? Objective. The last one, the third one I have for you is subjective. But it's just as important. And it's this. How's the culture in our office? Now, I want to remind you, these are non-negotiables, right? These are things that I think about every day. I walk in, 7 o'clock in the morning, or every time you get there, I'm thinking about how many am I recruiting, how many demos am I going to have set, and I want to know what's the feel of this office. It's so important because if you have the first two, you're still vulnerable if this isn't right. Let me briefly share with you what I think is vital when it comes to your office culture. First is almost a cliche, but you and your assistants, that you have an unfailingly positive attitude around people. You know, Rocky says, but it's not, or maybe it's his manager, says that it ain't about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward, right? Have I got that right? Yeah. And that advice applies in boxing and in vector and in life, right? It's just a fact. We're all going to get hit. So you've got to be positive. It's hard enough on the reps, right? We're learning something new. Our team has got to be, if you're going to be dark, you need to do it private or the people that are not in your office. Professionalism, right? So I think this is going to come up, somebody's coming into this later perhaps, so I won't spend a ton of time on this, but this is really obvious, right? How we dress. I'm not saying expensive, but do we look like we're there for business, right? Being punctual, you know, being somewhere when you say you're going to be there. Needless to say, honesty and ethics in all aspects of running your business. That means contest paid off. You know, apologize if you blow it. That does happen from time to time. I'll mention language here. This is part of being professional, right? I don't judge the way people use language in your private life. You know, we all have stuff. We all have college friends. We all say stuff, right? But I do judge when it's used in a business setting where you're the person in charge. And you got to be a professional. It matters. Everybody is watching you. Everybody is listening. Know that. They care and they talk about you when you're not there. So that refers to obvious stuff like profanity, but also precision in language, not exaggerating about stuff, right? It's not talking negative about others, that kind of stuff. The other thing I'll say is treatment of the opposite sex. This is all in the banner of culture, right? You want to destroy your culture? You want to destroy everything good about your office? Turn your office into, Tinder. Yeah. I wouldn't know. Right? It's a recipe for disaster, right? And I'm counting on everybody. I'm counting on everybody. And obviously, I'm especially talking to you guys. Treat women with respect always. Boorish behavior, anything inappropriate is unacceptable, and it's going to kill your office while you're out. Energy and work ethic is another part of your culture, right? What I like to call this is tempo and atmosphere. What's the tempo and atmosphere of your office? Your office only has potential right now. You have to supply the heat. And that's you. You can bring the heat in all kinds of different ways, right? It could be that late night demo check that somebody needs. It might just be the intense conversation out in the parking lot about somebody who's on the fence. It could be that. It could be an early morning breakfast with Denny's with somebody who's getting the day started. It's just investing, bringing energy, bringing tempo to your business. It's more or less servant leadership. That helps create culture. I'll give you a couple more on culture. Big one yet. I don't know if I've heard it come up yet. Is conference attendance. I'm saying the raw number that you bring to division meetings or certainly your big conferences, right? There was an exhaustive study that one of our top branch managers, I think she was number 2 in the country, did last year, where she calculated, more or less proved out that what you're going to do for the summer in volume is going to be equal to, you get $10,000 for every person you bring to SD1. Imagine that. So you bring 20 people to SD1 on your team, so $200,000 summer. Now this will have a little bit of give, but it plays out that way. So it's a big deal, and it really is a part of the culture. The fact that your office attends meetings, that's a big deal. The last one I'll throw out to you, since we have so many great AMs here, is you need an AM team and a bond between you and the AM team where you're in sync. The AMs are huge. Now, I hope everybody is planning on, as Lloyd was talking about, building out your AM team, making it a powerful force. Such a key to the future. But if you AMs here need any more convincing, check this out. This is from, this is from, somebody else mentioned, I think Brian mentioned the Harvard Business Review. This is also from HBR. And they asked the question, what leadership skills do you need? It was plural. Skills do you need most? And it was saying that these competencies were voted the most important for management positions. Check this out. Inspires and motivates others. These are from big Fortune 500 companies. Inspires and motivates others. Displays high integrity and honesty. Solves problems and analyzes issues. Drives for results. Communicates powerfully. Collaborates and promotes teamwork. Builds relationships. Check. Displays technical or professional expertise. Strategic perspective. Develops others. Takes initiative. And innovates. How's that for a list? That's This is from Fortune 500 countries. So everybody in this room, certainly, but AMs, this is the kind of stuff every day, every single day, you're cutting your teeth on. And to the extent that you embrace these things, the office culture is going to be dynamite. All right. It's time for me to wrap this up. I want to leave you with an image. So, China, in Chengdu, China, next year, they are going to launch a satellite. The satellite is going to be thrown up in space, and its job is going to be to, during the night, take the sunlight, reflect the sunlight, much like the moon does, and cast it down on the city of Chengdu, a huge city, millions and millions of people. And it's going to cast 7 times the amount of light as a full moon does. Essentially, it's going to use these reflectors to replace street lamps. This is going on next year. Imagine that. 7 times brighter than the moon. Now, in this illustration, think about the sun as our opportunity. It's real, it's hot, it's always shining, right? The thing is, there are some times when you can't see it. Or maybe people have never seen it before. They've lived in darkness, perhaps. They need to be convinced that it's real. They actually need to feel the heat. They need to feel or see the light. Just because it's shining, just because it's real, in other words, doesn't mean that people can feel it, right? And when you think about it, that is our job, right? What we are doing here, we're going to come in contact with so many different people, trying to recruit people, trying to drive them on demos, trying to build this culture that I talked about. Our job is really to take the light that we all know is real, take it and make sure that it casts a super strong light on your office and business. And we do it through our positive energy, we do it through our steadfast commitment to people, we do it through grinding every day, we do it through caring, we do it through being resilient. But you, the manager, have to make sure that the heat is felt. That is your job. That's our job. You're a promoter, a believer, an evangelist, a rock star every day. You're a walking, talking advertisement for why somebody is in the right place. Last thing I'll say is that I had a really good fraternity brother of mine back in school named Russ Myron from the Chicago area, and his kid went through our program, and I didn't know, you always hope, this is a really close friend of mine, you always hope that it goes well. And I let it go 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. I was kind of hoping that my friend would reach out to me. He never did, right? And finally, I just said, I have to ask. So I typed out a little email and I said, Russ, how's it going with Andrew? How's this thing working out? And I just got down my growth. And the email came back and he said, and I quote, "It's the most important thing he's ever done." End quote. That's what we are welcoming people into, the sun. So shine a bright enough and warm enough light on the people that you encounter, that you have the kind of summer that you want, and that you expect, and that you deserve. Look forward to it. Thank you very much.